Hello, I'm Edmund de Waal. I'm an artist and I'm also a writer, and I couldn't be more overwhelmed that the first museum in America to buy my work should be the Georgia Museum of Art. And the piece that you've acquired means a huge amount to me. It's called Letters to Amherst, and it's a vitrine. So it's a glazed aluminium box which sits on the wall, and it holds vessels and it holds incredibly thin pieces of porcelain. The vessels are really important to me. Vessels, I've been working with porcelain all my life, and vessels for me are sort of containers for me, of breath, of the interiority, the inside of a vessel feels to me like a breath. So having vessels which move together, sit together on shelves within this structure, are for me the building blocks of a kind of poem, a kind of sounding out of words and of feelings. And Emily Dickinson, who sits alongside this work, Letters to Amherst, Amherst is the place that she lived, is a poet who I've lived with all my life and is hugely important to me. And for me, Emily Dickinson is the poet of fracture, of seeing things and putting them aside, and making spaces and connections between often very disparate feelings and emotions and images. Her poems, as you know, have these long, beautiful lines, which aren't really lines of punctuation, they're more lines of breathing between her images. And so when you look at Letters to Amherst, this work that you've acquired, you'll see these spaces between objects. And I hope that you feel the attunement to Emily Dickinson in that work. And you'll also see incredibly thin pieces of porcelain into which I've inscribed pieces of poetry as well. So it's a work which sits alongside poetry. And I hope that it will allow you to sort of pause when you look at it, and pause and have the kind of recollection that I find in Emily Dickinson's poetry. Once again, thank you so much for having me within your collection. It means a huge amount to me.